to expect for this week crypto market outlook? Should we see a new all-time high, or should we see another correction or another shakeout or one last shakeout for the new all-time high to happen? But nonetheless, we're going to see here. Okay, so I think a lot of traders are also anticipating for probably a new all-time high very soon. Okay, but nonetheless, we are going to have some probably a slight hiccup later on, because later on we have FOMC meeting coming in from the Federal Reserve. So we will decide whether or not, well, end of this month, they might cut the interest rate or might maintain the interest rate. So all eyes on Jerome Powell, and of course later on 2 a.m. for FOMC. This will make it or break it for BTC and the crypto market as well. But of course, we can see traders are also looking somewhere around 110K to at least reach the critical resistance zone. And of course, most likely you might see a new all-time high again very soon once the 110,000 resistance will break. Okay, we are going to see a huge momentum pretty much towards the upside. Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of people are also anticipating for potential 110,000 break. Okay, so we look at this chart here. This was on 11th of June, right? Mentioning what here? High bullish commentary from retail's greed caused Bitcoin local top, okay, to happen. Okay, that was on June 11. Okay, so market was peaked at that level. And then fast forward to July, 7th of July, which is 2 days back. High bullish commentary from retails. Greed causes BTC local top price to fall again. So very much similar. So should we see this similarity will play out again? Okay, then most likely you might see another one more last shake off. Okay, maybe you might see another bottom again. This was on June 22nd. Okay, high bearish commentary from retail. Fear causes Bitcoin local to bottom. Okay, so should we see something like this as well for this upcoming rally or the upcoming movement that will to happen? So every time when we reach a critical resistance zone or the last final resistance, a lot of people are extremely bullish. And that's where the market tends to do the opposite. Okay, so mild pullback, okay, most likely will be on the cards here for Bitcoin to hit a new all-time before hitting a new all-time high. So yeah, high anticipation for a pullback or one last shake off before we see a final or a major rally. Okay, before it breaks through its all-time high of 111,000. Okay, which was reached somewhere around May 22nd. Okay, all right. So yeah, I think that we could expect one more last shake off if there's any chance. Okay, all right, and then macro headwinds lie ahead. Okay, so there are concerns about the US tariff deadline, right? Because as you know that Donald Trump wants to most likely to extend the tariff as well. Okay, the tariff, and of course most likely to impose more tariff as well to other countries. And then here we can see US Donald Trump have eased following its delay to 1st of August. So again, most likely to delay. Okay, so yeah, because if you continue to impose tariff, most likely the Federal Reserve will have a hard time to reduce the interest rate. So as long as the tariff is postponed, then at least the Federal Reserve can be able to have a chance to cut interest rate down. So that is the assurance given by Jerome Powell from the head of FOMC. Okay, so this is the first article. Then moving on next, we see it coming from the SEC side. So talking about the ETF approval, spot ETF approval. All right, so we're going to see a few coins that are going to get approved. Okay, we have like Solana, Ripple, Dogecoin, and Cardano. Very, very close. So what you can see right now, most of the coins are actually ready, most likely to price in this approval. Okay, so it's about 4 coins that is going to get approval. So you might see this type of coins will rally before the approval. That is like buying the news, and then sell off. Once the news take off, a good news take over, there will be a sell-off usually that most likely will happen. Okay, so first spot Solana staking ETF is officially live. Okay, 8 million in trading in the first 20 minutes. So yeah, you can see here SEC is nearing approval. Okay, then ongoing discussion with ETF issuers indicate a departure from its historical cautious stance. Then potentially paving the way for ETF tracking assets like Sol, Ripple, Dogecoin, and Cardano. So these are the 4 at the moment that is most likely to get approved. Okay, so nonetheless, I think this is a short-term bullish. Okay, but once the news event confirmed, usually there will be a sell-off, sell-out. Okay, same happened to Ethereum, and to Bitcoin as well. Once the Ethereum and Bitcoin ETF got approved, what happened? You can see the market starts to dump. Again, so these are the market sentiment is happening right now. Overall fundamental side is very bullish. Then next, we're going to see here, okay, talking about altcoins. Okay, so when it's alt season, and then what type of altcoins that you should be holding during this cycle, right? Very important as well. So yeah, we look at the technical side for the crypto total market cap, especially for altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so we can see that the altcoins, the bottom, most likely to happen very, very soon. I think, yeah, we can see the alts are bidding quite heavily against BTC. Okay, but nonetheless, we can see most of the altcoins are starting to reclaim trend line. Okay, that is happened somewhere around 2021. Okay, should we see another repeat? That is the most important thing. Okay, that we are looking at here. So yeah, we can see this is the altcoin market cap. Okay, so far right now we are hovering around the upper trend line here. Okay, so every time when you touch the trend line, the upper trend line, it tends to rebound quite heavily towards the upside. So should we see a repeat? That's the most important thing. Probably this could be the last quarter. Should we see the market equate ready, especially for alts? Okay, so yeah, as we can see, most of the alts are heavily down. I believe 90 to 98% down against Bitcoin. Then, of course, talking about the bear trap. Okay, talking about bear trap, I think most likely alts are really at the bottom. Okay, so if you're planning to short, I think the short is already over. We are looking to buy. We're looking for buying opportunity. Okay, especially for Q3. That's where we want to look for undervalued alts that has been down for 90 to 98%. Okay, that is devaluing against Bitcoin. So that's where we want to look for. Okay, for this Q3. So Q3 is to identify alts that are undervalued, that have real usage, good utility, good community, okay, that can be able to thrive for the last Q4 and leading up to Q1 2026. Okay, so you can see here, altcoin market mirror from 2016 to 2018 breakout setup. Okay, so this is a trader here, Merchlin. Okay, so I'm mentioning that altcoin market cap, okay, showing signs of repeating of a historical pattern. Should we see the altcoin market cap to repeat compared to the last cycle? Okay, last two cycles, 2016 to 2018 cycle. Okay, because I think this cycle is quite tough, quite challenging. Most of the alts are not performing. Okay, all right, only those alts that have real usage, real utility like 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀, Hyperliquid, those are the ones that are really performing. While the rest, even from last cycle, also is not performing. Right, so yeah, overall, we can see the altcoin market cap. And of course, the crypto side is looking bullish, but we don't know when this thing is going to take off, especially for the altcoin season, because I think the dominance is still quite strong. Okay, so we should see a first rate cut coming in from the Federal Reserve, and then pivoting from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing, QT to QE. Then this is the first step that we need to see first. Then only we can consider alt. Then moving on next, okay, this wallet from Solana. Okay, so for those of you who are using Phantom wallet, who are still actively trading on Solana, whether it's on the DEX, whether it's buying meme coins. Okay, so now I think Phantom, they have integrated a lot of network. And then, of course, they have partnered with a lot of DEX. And of course, right now, the latest partnership is with Hyperliquid. So now you can be able to trade in Phantom wallet, okay, leveraging through Hyperliquid, okay, technology. So you can be able to trade leverage. You can be able to long short. Okay, so this is absolutely quite huge, quite a huge breakthrough for Phantom. Okay, I think they have a lot of partnership. They are also synchronizing with 𝗧𝗶𝗺 network as well. So you can see, I think more and more users now will start to use Phantom wallet. Okay, because I think Phantom wallet is the front page for Solana, a go-to wallet. For those of you who are new and want to venture into Solana, usually people will go for Phantom. Okay, so compared to people like us, like we are using Backpack and the other wallets, okay, it's probably much more of a degen play. Okay, so yeah, so new feature could completely change how people trade crypto derivatives. Okay, so it's more towards leverage trading. Okay, so if you are into leverage trading and if you do not want to move to another platform, another wallet, then I think Phantom is still good to go. Okay, so this is more towards futures. Okay, leverage. Okay, and then you can see here Phantom taps hyperliquid to bring fast, gas-free perpetual to everyday traders. So that's why you can see a lot of people like to trade. Okay, yeah, people like to take leverage. So that's where the market is. So Phantom is actually tapping this market for this type of traders. Okay, to maximize fees as well. Okay, to maximize the attraction in Phantom wallet. So yeah, I think overall Phantom is very, very huge. Okay, if you haven't used Phantom wallet, maybe you should start using, because I think they're still yet to airdrop as well. Okay, so the more you use Phantom, probably by swapping, staking, probably will give you a chance to earn the airdrop. Okay, so they are still yet to drop, okay, for the first season. So you might want to try it out. Okay, so if you're using Solana, you might want to use Phantom. Then moving on next. Okay, so what's happening right now? It's coming in from CryptoCom here. Look at the on-chain side. So the bull run still continue. Then talking about altcoin season as well, right? So what is really happening now? You can see, right? So we have Bitcoin and we have the altcoin season, then together with the Bitcoin dominance. So all eyes on the Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin dominance can be able to, have a huge pullback, then we can be able to see altcoins start to rally, Bitcoin starts to consolidate or to peak, and then that's when we're going to see a huge bull run for altcoins. So yeah, bull run for Bitcoin, bull run for altcoins. The only question right now in everybody's mind, when is altcoin season? Okay, so a lot of people have been asking when, right? So I already told you many times, but again, I'll show you more technical side, fundamental. Okay, probably the alts have already started. Probably 2 years before that, they have already started, right? People do not realize. And then at this point, there are only two choices. So the number one, they give up on boredom and fear. Or the second one, continue to wait for the best part of the cycle. So I think we only left about how many more months to end this year? It's about what, 5 more months. Yeah, another 5 more months plus another Q1 for 2026. So 5 plus 3, 8 months. So you only have like 8 months to wait, to be patient. Okay, so that's the only thing right now. Because after that, most likely the market will have a go off top or to have a peak. And then that's where we transition from the bull to the bear market. So 8 months is all you have left. Starting from now, Q3 is where I want to look to alts to accumulate. And then to prepare for the last final leg towards the upside, which is Q4. Okay, so don't miss the bus. Don't miss the bus. I think Q3 is a wonderful opportunity to find good quality alts. I think most of the alts are already down, 90 to 98%. Some good ones are still yet to break towards the upside. So yeah, you gotta find. And then next, coming in from Swissblock. So what we can see here, another crucial update. So at the moment, what we are seeing right now, we are in a ranging mode. Okay, and Bitcoin is ranging around 108 to 110K. So the 110K is the critical resistance. Okay, and then maybe we should see 104, 106K if there's any chance of a break towards the downside. Okay, any chance of a pullback will be a huge steal to actually buy back around this range, 104, 106. Okay, so the all-time high attack will come after a bull flush and a bear trap. So these two have to take place. And then the real breakout. Okay, so these are the expectations. But again, later on for tonight, I don't expect Bitcoin to really break all the way up, break all the way to 110. Maybe we should expect a bull flush first due to the FOMC meeting later on at 2 a.m. And then probably come down maybe to 104, 106 to have a bear trap. Hopefully, we can get this in order to accumulate. Then only we will continue to rally high. So July, we'll expect a ranging consolidation. Okay, hopefully keep able to accumulate. Okay, instead of going all the way up. So as long as we range around this range, should be fine. So your 104 critical support, 110K will be the final resistance. Okay, so that's the thing to take. Okay, so this is your answer for those of you who have been holding altcoins, or probably 90 to 99% into alts with no BTC exposure. Okay, so a lot of you will ask, when is alt season? Okay, right? So because I think most of you who are holding alts are actually down 90%, or probably did not even take profit or sell. during the Q1 of this year, and you ride all the way up, all the way down now. So again, so if you have been asking about altcoin season, there is two difference here that you should be taking note. One you should be asking is that, is your altcoins performing against the dollar? And then second thing is your alts performing against Bitcoin in terms of Bitcoin value. Okay, all right. So yeah, if you have replied in USD, if you are thinking that if your alts is performing against the US dollar, okay, or in terms of USD, then it is already alt season since 2023. That means last 2 years, altcoins have already had its own season since 2023, but many do not realize. But if your coin haven't been going up since then of course you are not holding the right coin. Okay. Now, if they have replied in BTC, if you are comparing your alts in terms of Bitcoin value, then of course it hasn't arrived yet. You are still waiting. This is the one that you want to go for. Your alt should be outperforming against Bitcoin value, not in dollar value. Okay. So a lot of people, especially new or retail, will tend to look out against the US dollar value, but did not realize against BTC value. So here, so we can see, okay, so this is a total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum price in USD. So it's loading slow. Okay, come see the chart. Okay, so yeah, so if you look at the Bitcoin dominance first, so like I already mentioned, okay, in terms of comparing with Bitcoin, your alts against Bitcoin, okay, for alts to outperform against Bitcoin, dominance needs to drop something like this. The Bitcoin dominance have to drop very significant in order for your alts to outperform. So for now, if you talk about the altcoin season against Bitcoin, it hasn't started yet. Meanwhile, your altcoin is losing value versus Bitcoin. Okay, at the moment, if you do not realize, your alt is underperforming against Bitcoin. Okay, and then your alt could still be gaining versus US dollar value. That is the difference here. A lot of people are comparing with USD. That's the thing. We should be comparing with BTC. Okay, so yeah, this is the USD chart. Okay, so current cycle, you can see altcoin season as priced in USD went up. Last cycle, it went up, right? Okay, and then if you look here, we have been altcoin season, having the altcoin season since June 2023. We bought your alts with USD. So that means altcoin have outperformed against USD since 2023 June. But against Bitcoin is still down. Okay, the valuation is still down. So you have to differentiate between comparing in USD versus comparing in Bitcoin value. Okay, so there are two differences here. Okay, if you want your altcoins to perform, this is the one you should be looking for. Bitcoin dominance. Why Bitcoin dominance plays a crucial part in the crypto market, especially for your alts. Okay, so hopefully this is a good lesson for you guys. Then moving on next with Airdrop. Okay, so for those of you who have been doing this Airdrop for boom, okay, the snapshot has taken, then the TGE was yesterday. So you can be able to claim this token. If you have been doing this, then you want to claim Gamer Boom. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is the link, and you can start claiming. Connect your wallet, claim the Airdrop here for this. Okay. And then next, again, coming in from PRN. Okay, PRN drop eligibility checker is now live. So you might want to check, okay, whether you've gotten the airdrop or probably you did not get due to civil. Okay, so you want to connect your wallet and want to check whether you got this airdrop or PRN. So many airdrop, but we do not have everything to cover. Okay, so this funding is only 7.8 million. So it's less than 10. So usually less than 10, I'm not interested in. Okay, so these are the latest updates coming from airdrop. Then we have Dimension as well. Season 2 already started, I believe so. Okay, so for those of you who have been staking your Dimension, okay, not sure whether Lomela have been still staking about the Dimension. So you might want to go and check. And then check for Season 1 and Season 2. And then see whether or not you want to continue with Season 2. Okay, So I'm not sure whether is it going to be worthwhile for Cosmos ecosystem. I think they've been down for quite some time, ever since the Celestia mania, the Celestia token mania have happened. Okay, and then after that, everything died off there. Even your staking also become dust, because I think all the value have gone down tremendously, 95 to 98% down, especially for Celestia. Then Cosmos also down heavily, quite bad. Okay, so I think Dimension also is down quite bad. Okay, then next we're going to see it coming from Saga. Saga also from Cosmos ecosystem. Okay, so the bulk trial drop is now distributed in the wallet, so you don't have to claim. Okay, so yeah, I think this is going to be another dust drop again. So I'm not sure whether you guys did or not. It's more towards staking. So yeah. And then moving on next with the coin market cap. So what we are seeing right now, BTC is at 119.3. Okay, still I would say at the critical resistance zone, so you have to be very careful there. So a lot of people, a lot of traders are anticipating a 110K break. So again, later on at 2 a.m. we have FOMC. So probably things can change later on. The market might reverse. You have to be very careful. Meanwhile, Ethereum 2.6 been rallying now. Look at Ripple 2.3. So what's the gainers for today? Stellar. This was like last 2 year cycle, last two bull cycle, 14% up. Radium under Solana DEX, 10%. Curve down D5 for Ethereum, 9.5% to get really swap as well. So most of the DEX are also up. And look at the meme points like SPX is 900, 6.13%. All right, so yeah, most of it, some of it's up. And then some losses here, losers here. Right, Story Protocol down 1.75%, look at Bong 6.7. Okay, then meanwhile, nothing much. Then look at Celestia now, 1.6. I think the all-time high was at what, $20 or $30 for Celestia. Now it's at only 1.6. Okay, so you can see how is the effect, okay, for this type of tokens. Hype token and then suddenly now dying off. Okay, then moving on next with the technical side. So if any question, feel free to put in the chat box, whether it's technical, whether it's altcoins, okay, whichever. Ask feel free to put in the chat box. Answer it towards the end of the session. So dominance, what's happening now? So monthly, 64.83. So this was the peak here, 65.99. Okay. And then you might see, yeah, this one is still on the cards here, 70.88%. This will be the final boss resistance. Okay. Then if there's any chance of a pullback, this will be the support at 60.2. Then look at weekly now. So the weekly now is still trending higher. High highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs. Now it's creating a higher low. So even if we come back down here, it's still considered uptrend. It's creating a higher low at 63.60. So that is on the weekly time frame, right? Weekly time frame. Then look at daily now. Daily also is down. Momentum sell. So probably you might see some outs are starting to perform for the short term. Okay. Now dominance is down. Okay. So where would the next stop most likely will be here? The weekly middle band here at 63.68. Okay, so probably they're giving you some hope there for your outs to have a breather. So if we look on next to Ethereum against Bitcoin, now this is where it will make a game changer here for Ethereum to outperform against Bitcoin. So far for now, it's still downtrend. Monthly is still challenging the sell zone here, 0.02544. If you can able to break here, close this level of support, then might continue to rally all the way back to the middle band here at 0.00337. Then our weekly now, what's happening now? You can see already descending, break, consolidation. I can see it's about to break higher already. So this will be the next one, top weekly here, 0.02671. Okay, for Ethereum to outperform against Bitcoin. So you can see on daily starting to break up. We have a momentum buy now, but again, we have to see whether or not this candle can close above the top. And then continue to challenge this current resistance here, 0.02, okay, 572. This will be next for Ethereum. Then moving on next to BTC. Okay, so what's happening now? Okay, 109.4. This is the current support. 102.5. Look at the weekly time frame. Now it's still consolidating. Okay, so like I said, this is the final boss resistance, 109.1. The 109.1, right? It needs to break above. Break above, close this as support. For now, it's still resistance. Okay, so you have to be very careful there. So what happens if it continues to rally up and to have a new all-time high? Where will be the next new all-time high? Be here. So we take the Fibonacci. I'm going to draw here. The next one will be 135,000. Next high will be 135. Okay, so there will be a new price discovery there. Let's see. Then we look at daily now. Okay, so daily also can see pump consolidation. This is a bullish flag pattern. So I think most likely anytime can break towards the upside. We're going to see how later on. Okay, 110.1. This will be the resistance for the daily time frame. Okay, daily time frame resistance. So let's see whether or not can break. Okay, but I'm not confident yet for this week to break higher. Most likely you might see another probably a pullback or flush down. Okay, maybe it might take out 107.1 here, and then maybe one more last round at this level here, 102.5, or probably slightly a bit higher here. Maybe you come back here to scare everyone, 104.1. Yeah, and then maybe we could, consider it as a bottom again, and most likely to prepare for a new all-time high. So let's see. Okay, so there could be a surprise later on from the FOMC. Okay, so it is better to make your judgment after the FOMC meeting rather than wait in right now. Okay, so all eyes on the FOMC later on. So I'm waiting for the decision in order for me to dollar cost average as well, in order for me to buy out. Okay, and then we look at Ethereum. So ETH, meanwhile, is starting to break towards the upside. So we have the 2824 is the next middle band as resistance to break above. So we look at the weekly time frame. What's happening now? Break up, candlestick change of direction from sell to buy, pull back again to maintain this as support. Okay, so far doing very well. But for now, this is hovering at the sell zone. So again, very crucial here. This level is a sell. On top here is a sell. 2.8 also is a sell. So we're going to see, continue to go higher. Top maybe will be next 2951 for the weekly time frame. Then on daily now, it's starting to trend higher. Should we see this top maybe were to break, then this will be the next one. 2816. If not, you might see another pullback, a throwback here. Okay, continue to retest on the middle band at 2475, and then probably the critical support 2230. So all these levels you need to watch for ETH, right? So any outs we want to look at few here. SPX 6900. Okay, so SPX 6900. See this is under one of the top KOL or top influencer shilling this. This is the current support 1.2 for SPX 6900. This is a meme coin actually. So we can see what's happening now. Double top. Okay, this is the critical resistance zone 1.51. Yeah, somewhere along peak again. So the low was at where? 25 cents. Was on March. How many times from here? 5x from the lows. 5x. Okay, so SPX 6900. Okay, look at daily time frame. W pattern form. Very nice. Okay. So again here, rejecting at the top EV. So should we see a pullback? That's the most important thing. Pullback here, giving you at 1.33 again to accumulate. If not, the middle band here, 1.22 for SPX. H4, higher highs, high lows, high highs, pullback. Okay, so yeah, it could be another chance again to accumulate. Okay, somewhere around 1.36 for this outcome. Okay, so next, what else here? Okay. Ripple, XRP. So what's happening now? XRP. What's been accumulating XRP? So you can see here. So I think the spot ETF is about to get approved. If you look at the monthly time frame itself, see, pump, dump, consolidation, pump, dump, consolidation, pump, dump again. See, very, very similar. Okay, I think this one we're looking set to break higher. So this one will be the final resistance here at $3. Okay, weekly, you can see W pattern form. This is double bottom. So like I say, this thing were to play out, this could be a very huge movement. 2.67 will be next, and then 3.04 for Ripple. So far, trending very nice, all the way up. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Okay, H4 is also you can see. Okay, momentum pullback. Okay, so yeah, probably you can see that people wants to hit higher with this time. Okay, so accumulation, maybe you want to buy back on the pullback, all this previous support level here, 2.33. Yeah, and then your middle band here, 2.29. So this is the level that you can be able to probably re-buy back or re-enter again. Okay, we continue with this trend. Right. Then of course we have a lot here. We look at drift protocol. Okay, so drift USDT. So here. So this is a derivative trading platform under Solana prediction market as well. Okay, so let me see which one is good. So Coinbase. Okay. So they launched, I think, this year, May itself. It went up all the way to $3. Now it's at what, 38 cents. And we are stuck again at July support. Last year, yeah, about 1 year already. Okay, coming back to this price again. So look at the weekly time frame. Momentum, pullback, momentum sell, pullback. Okay, so yeah, again, you can see most of the alts are actually down. 38 cents. Okay, so this will be the critical spot. The daily now. The daily again is still for some. So it still doesn't look good. Okay, for this alts to outperform. Okay, still get rejected at the sell zone. It's still likely to break the low for drift. Okay, so drift, your critical support, 35 cents. Final support, 27 cents. Okay, this thing gonna go down, then I think it's going to suffer a lot here for drift. Okay, even though got good utility, very good use case for drift, but unfortunately, if you look at the price doesn't, right? Then if you look at hyperliquid, another one, right? Okay, one. Meanwhile, hype is at 38.9, already went up a lot. $45 all time high, 45.8. Okay, so your support zone will be on the money here, 26.97. Look at the weekly level, momentum, pullback, consolidation, sideways. Okay, so again, it's still uptrend actually. This will be the critical support, $34. Your final boss resistance at 41.15. Okay, so look at the daily time frame. Okay, so daily you can see what's happening here. Lower high compared to the previous high. So it's looking set to most likely to break. Okay, with this setup here. Then we look here, all the head and shoulder pattern playing out. With your head and your shoulders here. Left and right shoulder. Okay, so it's looking quite bearish here on the daily itself also. Okay, probably might see a breakdown for hyperliquid. I believe it has already peaked for hyperliquid. Already went up a lot. Since the low was at how much here? 9.4. All the way to 41.7. Right? From here, 9.4 all the way to 45.8. Almost 4x at the bottom. Okay, 4x. So looking at the crystal ball, when likely the 4 ATH will be approved. Yeah, so we're already in the second half of the year. So it could happen anytime within Q3 or latest by Q4, right? Since the approval rate is quite high already. But anyhow, it doesn't really make a difference. Because even though the ETF got approved, most likely the price might get down during the main event to take place. So let's say SEC already approved today, Solana, Cardano, whatever XRP, most likely will get the price down. That is usually what will happen during Bitcoin Ethereum official ETF approval day, right? So nothing much to shout about, but again, overall on the bigger perspective, it is bullish for the whole macro scale of the crypto market. Again, that means allowing institutions to invest, public have the kind of assurance from the hedge fund to liaise through them to actually buy the ETF. So that's where we'll drive in more inflows for the crypto market.